Hey everybody, Kurt Nelson here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're kind of just having a nice conversation about approaches, mentalities, thoughts at the plate. And I think first and foremost, the most important thing to always remember is that hitting is purely reactionary. It's the least mental game in sports, in my opinion. It should be 100% reactionary. The reason why people talk so much about the mentality side of it is because our mentality gets in our way a lot, right? So we have to figure out different ways to kind of calm ourselves down and make the game simpler and easier when things kind of go faster and kind of start speeding up on us a little bit. We have very specific approaches. We have very generic approaches. Excuse me. And overall, I think when you're looking at approaches, you have to understand who you're dealing with. You have to understand their strengths, their weaknesses, their overall swing mechanics. I think that having everyone have the exact same approach is never a good thing because everyone's different, right? If I have somebody with a really good swing that's very, very good, we can game plan based off the pitcher more, right? We can kind of understand what is the pitcher doing, what's the fastball like, what's the spin rates like, if we have that information. And if we don't, then we can have some educated guesses as well and talk to other hitters that are facing those pitchers and kind of utilize that information in different ways. But at the end of the day, I think that, most teams out there right now are doing a lot of, kind of like group approaches, right? You kind of have your look middle in positive counts, you have your look middle away in even counts, and you have, your fight everything in 2 strikes. And sure, that works for some. I even taught the whole look away reacting, for a long time, and I did it as a player myself and had some success doing it. But I think it also is going to limit us to a certain degree, in different areas. But it is a simple kind of start for some guys, but I think that when you're forcing hitters to, hit the ball oppo, or you're forcing hitters to pull everything, which I don't think anybody's really doing that anymore. But I see so many guys that are just getting forced to drive the ball oppo, and ultimately, my timing is what changes all of that, right? Like if I'm early on away and I have a good swing, I should be able to pull the ball pretty well. If I'm late on in and I have a good swing, I should be able to hit a line drive up the middle, or even a softer line drive into right center. But that's all dictated off of the hitter, right? The hitter's swing, the hitter's reactions, the hitter's timings, and everything. So, at the end of the day, I think, the simple side of approach is to be aggressive, flat out. We're dangerous when we swing a bat. We can't go in that box passive. And then obviously we can adapt to the pitcher a little bit. If that pitcher's throwing a lot of balls, then we can adjust a little bit and start taking some pitches and be a little bit more selective. It kind of depends on the environment we're in a little bit. But ultimately, my favorite plan is to hit strikes. Coming down to it is to be ready to hit strikes. I don't care if it's a fastball. I don't care if it's a curveball. I don't care whatever it is. It could be a knuckleball for all that matter. I don't care. If it's over a good part of that plate and it's a pitch that we can drive, we want to get a swing off. We want to get a good swing off, right? So ultimately, we don't want to make it too complicated, and some guys need maybe a little bit more than others. Other guys can kind of take the, the generic, see-ball, hit-ball kind of side of things and go from there. But I think that approaches get over-taught, If a guy strikes out too much, then 2-strike approach. We have to do something different. We have to be a little bit better in 2 strikes then. If a guy gets himself out a lot by being too aggressive in positive counts and you get those 3-1 outs that are weak outs, then we're going to have to adjust off that as well. So anyways, we'll talk soon. Those are a couple simple thoughts on approach and mentality. Until next time.